Hey, welcome everybody. We're not on the Ruth Glacier behind me with Mount McKinley back there. That's not where we are. We are sitting here with a fake screen behind me. That's my photo from years ago, 1990, with my climbing partner. Hey, we're going to talk about those bears. I've got more bear stories, but these two bears, black bears, I'm going to tell you about right now. It's been bugging me, and we've been talking about other stuff in between rides. I've been doing story time and covered a little mileage today, so now I'm going to do this, hang out under the tarp. McCarthy, Alaska. Hey, by the way, welcome to Tectonic. I'm Darren. If you haven't been here before, thank you for stopping by. And you guys that are back here again, going to tell the quick black bear story. Now, I've lived in Alaska for about 35, almost 40 years. Roughly around there. Can't really add it up. But one year, just a few years ago, I decided to go to McCarthy, Alaska. Now, I lived in Denali National Park. Behind me is Denali. And the national park surrounds it. It's, in the summertime, really nice place. Rivers and warm weather, usually, some rain. Anyway, bears. Grizzly bears. Mainly in Denali, there's grizzly bears. And I really never had, all my years there, backpacking, climbing in the park. Up here on the glacier, really no bears to speak of. Anyway, but down in the park, where you're backpacking and stuff, there are a lot of grizzly bears and some black bears. Denali, I never really had a bad experience. I would see a bear from a distance, and you always hear about people getting charged by a bear or bluffed or whatever, and that never happened to me. The only thing that happened to me with a grizzly bear in Denali was just on a bike ride, a day ride. I'm just riding down a hill, and I just happened to look behind me, and there's a bear running across the road. And it was a pretty good distance, maybe 100 yards behind me. But, and another time a guy said, hey, I was hitchhiking, and the guy said, did you see that bear across the road? It was right behind you. But I didn't see that one, so I guess that one doesn't count. But because I didn't experience it, right? But the black bears, okay, here we go. McCarthy. McCarthy is in Wrangell St. Elias National Park, which is south of Denali, and it's a massive national park with big glaciated mountains and really beautiful place. But a lot of black bears, grizzly too. But it just for some reason has more black bears. Anyway, I went down there on the bike trip. I told you about the hitchhiking story with the native family and the beaver soup and the drunk drive mosquito deal. Anyway, you can go watch that one. I'll put it in the link in the description. But anyway, here we are, or I am, going to McCarthy. It's a 60-mile dirt road off the main road. Not a lot of people live in McCarthy, even though the town is in a national park. I think it's the only town in Alaska that's in a national park, I think I'm correct on that. But anyway, I was alone, biking around there, and then also hiking up to the glacier. And I had stayed with a friend for a few days who lived in Kenny Lake, real close to there. And he had said, hey, watch out for the black bears there, And I said, oh, okay, shoot, I'm from Denali, right? I'm not worried about it. But I'm aware, I'm aware. And I take the bear spray, and all that, just like I do on the bike trips. And I set the tent up, and this isn't a really long story, but I got down into the willows just below the road. Lots of willows. Now, McCarthy used to be a copper mine, the Kennecott copper mine. And there were a lot of people there at one time. So there's a bunch of shit in the woods, like old shacks and barrels and just tools and just junk, and it's been there since the 20s, even before that. So I got down in there, and I thought, wow, this is kind of a cool spot, camp. There's some old barrels there and things that I can just guard the back of the tent with those, and I set up my spot. And I'd walk into town and eat. There was a little restaurant in town I would go to, one little place. Now, McCarthy, it doesn't even have a place to take a shower, or like most places in Alaska, you can pay to take a shower. because it's a summertime gig, seasonal, and there are no showers. The only people that have water are the people that live there, and most of them don't even have water. The one and only business that has like a restaurant, maybe there's two now, I don't know, it ran off a generator. So the whole thing runs off a generator. And so I would eat at the one and only little place there. Maybe there was a bakery. And then run back down to the tent. Kept real close. So one day I got back to the tent and there was a big shred in the tent. And why I didn't think it was a bear, I don't know. I think it was just because it was one tear. And I thought, well, maybe it wasn't a claw or anything. Maybe it was some other critter just like shredded, and there was nothing in there. That's the other thing. Unless it smelled some food that was on me, or maybe a cracker that I don't know. I don't keep food in there, rarely. So I think, oh, okay, fuck, oh well. So I put the tarp over the tent and kind of secure it, and I figured that'll work for this trip, and then I'll just get a new tent. And bailed off up to the glacier, Kennecott Glacier, and did some hiking up there that day. And if you ever get a chance to go to Alaska, get to the Kennecott Glacier, get to McCarthy. And so I get back to the tent and I go to bed, and nothing happened. Oh, I'm sorry. I get back to camp and I hear something rustling around, and I'm like, oh shit. And I look over this little embankment, and there's a bear in one of those rusty barrels, but in a different spot, way over there. So I spent like an hour over there going, oh fuck, this bear will go away. I'm thinking of it at this point as like Yosemite, where the bear's going to hang around for a while, and then it's used to humans, And in McCarthy, they can be used to humans because there's people there, but they're a different type of bear, black bear. Anyhow, I think I'll just throw something over there. So I threw some things over the barrel. I was far enough away, hoping that if I pissed it off, it wouldn't run out, charge me. And I was just trying to get it out, get it away and maybe run off. And it eventually did, but it took a while. It didn't. I threw, all I was throwing was light stuff, like some sticks and stuff. I threw, somebody had lost a sandal, a big, like a Chaco sandal up there. It wasn't real garbagey around there, but I did find the sandal to throw, and I threw that. And eventually it left. It took off. So then the next day I decided, oh shit, they're probably not going to bother me. And I went back, and I actually, now I don't drink alcohol anymore. And we'll go into that story later. It's kind of a great story. And but I went out and went to the bar, proceeded to drink, one or two or three, maybe even four. And wandered back to camp, and I got it. Now it's light 24/7, in the summer, and the mosquitoes are horrendous. So I'm in the tent and I'm sleeping, and I hear something, and I'm kind of in a delirium, right? Obviously, and I hear the sticks breaking, and I have a rip in the tent, right? So the tarp's over, and I look out. I just look out a little bit, and there's the bear. And the fucking bear, I'm not lying, my family knows this story. I've told it enough where everybody knows. And I'm hungover. It's the worst hangover possible. And I'm looking out at a bear, and it's right, I'm not kidding you, it's that far from my face. But it's not looking at me. It's looking this way, like this, and mouth kind of open, and I could see the lips, and I could see the pulsating lips as it would breathe, and it just looking in onto the horizon, but right there. Now, think about this. I have to watch it, right? But I can't, because the mosquitoes are flying in. I don't have my glasses on. The mosquitoes are flying in this little hole like bullets, and they're coming into my eyeballs. And I got to look at it. So I'm just letting the mosquitoes bite my eyeballs. I'm letting the mosquitoes bite my eyeballs. No fucking lie. And there it is, right there. And I'm going to die. I'm really, I can't make a noise. Now people would say, when you see a bear, you go, hey bear. I'm not going to fucking say, hey, bear, right there next to my face. I just was frozen. It was a long time. Excuse my language. And, yeah, that went on for a long time. I can't tell you how long it was. And it just turned away. It turned away. And then I couldn't stop looking for a long time. I waited and waited and waited and kept letting mosquitoes are bad. Again, I had a rip in the tent. So anyway, I suffered, but I didn't die on that one. And the thing, I couldn't believe that it was right there and didn't just look in the tent. Are you kidding me? Maybe, now I've reflected a lot, maybe it's because that's the one that ripped it open and there was nothing in there. And it just figured there was nothing in there. Because it had done that the day before or whatever, 2 days. I don't know. Why I didn't move when the shred was in there? You got me. Worst hangover, weirdest day. I mean, wackier than you know what. Anyway, thanks for listening to that one. The story just can't do justice, but thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I know that was a little bit of a weird and wacky story, but it's a true one. And join me for the next ones. I'm going to give some updates here pretty soon on another video I did on David Benfer. So hang in there. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you here in the next video.